Hello everyone, greetings from InUni UK. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. My name is Begina Weatherill and I'm the Director of Recruitment within InUni UK division, a company of global university systems overseeing international students recruitment for our partner universities. Today, I'm extremely excited to talk about our new partner university, beautiful Hartpury University and College. And we will be specifically covering business programs because Hartpury University not only offers specialized programs, as we learned in our previous webinar, but it also offers business courses in undergraduate and postgraduate level as well. And I'm really excited to be joined by academics from Hartpury University. So we have Polly Pick, who is principal lecturer, and we have John Lannon, who is senior lecturer. And I also have my team in the background from the InUni marketing department. So we have Chinks and we have Sukanya, who are helping us to run this webinar smoothly. Before we start, just a few housekeeping rules for you. You're all on mute. If you'd like to ask any questions, feel free to pop them into the Q&A section. So that's Q&A section rather than chat section. And we will take them from there at the very end of the webinar. So I really hope you can stay with us till the end of the webinar. But in case if you have to leave a little bit earlier, the webinar is being recorded and the recording will be shared with you afterwards as well. Other than that, sit back and enjoy. And I really hope you find this webinar useful and inspiring as well. And just a quick reminder to our partners across the world who join our webinar today. GAS Gateway portal is already open for applications for Hartpury University. So feel free to file your students' applications there as soon as possible. There are a few deadlines which are approaching soon. For example, one of them is International Vice Chancellor Scholarship, which is end of May. So please ensure you've completed your B2B inquiry via GAS Gateway in case if you haven't done so yet. And if the agreement is already finalized and you have Hartpury brand live on your GAS Gateway portal, you can file your students' application. So please try to submit as many documents as possible for your students so we avoid back and forth, and InUni admissions can start making initial assessment of your students' applications. All right. It's over to you, John and Polly. So the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dagina. Thank you. Okay, right, so we're going to share.
Can you just tell us when you can see this okay, please?
Yeah, sure. Amazing. Yes, we can see.
Right.
Okay, so it's welcome from John and myself to some information about our exciting new business courses that we have here at Hartpury. What you can see on the screen at the moment is a picture of our absolutely stunning campus in rural Gloucestershire, and we have fantastic facilities here, but generally the environment is very good. It's very, very pleasant, and we have a really lovely campus here that we'd be very excited to welcome your students to. Just so you can understand a little bit about where Gloucestershire is and where the university is. Our nearest town is Gloucester, a few miles away, and we are down in the sort of southwest bottom left-hand corner of the UK. We're not far from Bristol, we're not far from Birmingham. It's about an hour, 50 minutes either way. And the city centre of Gloucester is just a short ride away, and many of our students reside in Gloucester. And then we also have Cheltenham not far away, which is full of all sorts of excitements, including racing and festivals and all sorts of things like that. We have accommodation on site, but we also have it off site in the city centre. Yeah, and we're just 2 hours away from London by train, so not far at all. So Hartpury itself, the background of Hartpury was originally as an agriculture college. It started in 1948, and we've been teaching degrees here for 31 years. We have as you saw in the picture, we have a large, beautiful campus, and we have in excess of 4,200 students currently from 60 plus countries. Our facilities are world class. The subject areas that Hartpury has specialised in, including equine, sport and agriculture, we have state-of-the-art facilities for those types of programme. But even if students want to study business and they're interested in sport, there are world-class facilities here for them to use and enjoy. Students are also able to bring their horses to stay on campus as well. We have 9 different sports academies, and there is overall a real culture of excellence and continuous improvement throughout the institution. We have 11 commercial businesses that operate on site, and in the business team we have really exceptional links to local and national businesses as well. We've got research that's recognised as internationally excellent, and that's an area that we continue to develop.
Okay, well, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. I'm going to talk to you for a short time about our teaching and some of our programme. Obviously, any student that comes to us needs to be assured that they are going to receive excellent teaching and learning opportunities. And I'm delighted to say that here at Hartpury, we are 4th in the UK for teaching excellence and 6th in the UK for teaching quality. So by coming here, they will receive an excellent opportunity to learn and grow as individuals. But it's not just about learning, it's also about what happens after you've studied for your degree or your postgraduate course here at Hartpury. And we're delighted to say that 90% of all of our graduates are in employment or further study or other purposeful activity within 18 months of graduating from the university. And this places us in the top 10% of UK universities for graduate employability within the United Kingdom. We are a reasonably small university and institution, but we have large ambitions, and we do not allow the fact that we are small to detract from the fact that we still want to put students at the centre of everything that we do. So why business at Hartpury? Because there are over 200 courses in the UK alone that allow you to study business management. We are reasonably new into this area in terms of business management per se, although we have been running applied business management courses for a number of years. What we expect our students to do when they come here and study is that this degree will prepare them for the future. We want to create confident business professionals ready to make a success in their future career. And we do that by developing their talent to meet the future skills demand. We hope to nurture their passion, drive and expertise in whatever subject or area that they are interested in for business. We will also help to build their skills, and we essentially really want to make them industry ready. What we are doing for our degree is creating future business leaders, and there's a list of careers there that is obviously not exhaustive, but we expect students to be able to study with us and choose a path that suits them and what interests them into the future. And why business at Hartpury? As we've said, 97% of our graduates are in employment or further study or purposeful activity. We have an established history for producing business savvy graduates. We are the #1 university in the UK as far as the National Student Survey is concerned for academic support. And the reason for that is we have small class sizes. You will not be getting students to come here who will be in a morass of students of over 300 or 400 people in a lecture theatre. we keep things small so that we can make sure that our students, we understand them, we know what helps them and what's going to be best for them. Over to you, Polly.
Okay. So why business at Hartpury? So we've had a long heritage of vocational learning. So in the previous subjects that we've done, including agriculture, equine and sport, there's a real kind of passion for hands-on delivery and for people, preparing people to actually go into specific industry situations. So as an institution, we have over 3,000 links with other employers. We work with employers of all different shapes and sizes. Gloucestershire has a very strong heritage in small businesses. So we have a lot of small businesses that work with us, and we work with the Federation of Small Businesses. But we also have strong links into public sector organisations such as our local authorities and the NHS, the UK Health Service. So we work with businesses of all different shapes and sizes, and we give our students the broadest experience. What we're trying to do with that is to find an area that they're interested in, a sector that they feel really speaks to them, and then to prepare them for the best possible future that we can do, and give them all of the necessary knowledge and skills that they need to succeed. So in terms of what we will study, there are recurring themes that go through all the three different levels of our undergraduate programme, and are also prevalent in our master's programme as well. So in terms of the academic subjects that we focus on, we have a very strong business curriculum that looks at leadership in organisations, managing people, marketing, things like economics and the global business environment. We have a strong focus on enterprise and entrepreneurship. Students will also cover things like accounting and finance, organisational behaviour, and in each year that they're with us, they will also study areas of professional development. So in terms of the skills that develops and developing their competencies and their abilities, we believe strongly in areas of personal reflection, getting them to really make the most of the learning that they do. So reflecting on the feedback that they get, reflecting on the experiences that they undertake while they're here, looking early on at possible career development and opportunities for them to work with business, building their capabilities of communication, and focusing on how they can communicate effectively and with impact as a speaker, as a writer, and also in terms of things like social media and developing content for a number of different platforms. In their time with us, they will undertake a live business consultancy where a business will give them an issue or a problem that they're wrestling with, and the students will work to address those issues and make some recommendations to the organisation. In doing so, we help them to build their personal network, to build their connections with businesses, and for those students who need a little bit of confidence and a little bit of support to get into their careers, building those networks, building those connections is really helpful. As you would expect with an academic programme, the kind of capstone, the final area of work that students will do will be a research project, building skills of research, analysis, and also helping them to learn how to present that information to a business community. So in the first year, students will explore areas of their own personal effectiveness. There's a marketing module, finance modules and enterprise as well. And that helps to give them a good foundation in the kind of key functional areas of business. In each year that they go through in the undergraduate programme, they'll have a large module and 2 smaller modules twice a year. And we'll talk to you more about that in a moment. In the second year, again, we pick up the themes of personal reflection, personal effectiveness and career readiness. And we come round to look at issues of marketing, sustainability, human resource management, organisational behaviour and elements of operations management. Students can undertake a placement year in their second year, where they can go out to industry and work for up to 48 weeks to gain valuable experience. But there's also a range of other options for them to get experience while they're studying, either part-time or for them to do shorter placements or internships. In their third year, their final year, we look at themes of leadership, ethics, strategy, the kind of higher level areas of business, and they'll undertake a live business project for themselves as well. So in terms of what makes Hartpury really distinctive, John and I are both very experienced business lecturers. We both worked for many years in other institutions. And one of the really nice things when we came to Hartpury is that we've heard from various alumni, various previous graduates of Hartpury, that Hartpury really helps to make you the best version of yourself. And we've not heard that just from people in Hartpury. We've actually heard that from people who've really experienced that. Mm-hmm. And that's something we're very keen to continue. The small class sizes that John mentioned really help with that. What you can see on the image behind this is a project that we did in our induction week with our first years, where they went and met members of the City Council, they met members of the Federation of Small Businesses, and they were able to start right from week one, building their network, discussing things with real business mentors, and actually finding out what they're interested in and what they want to do. The motto, if you drive onto our campus, the motto of Hartpury is "Love what you do." Sometimes that can be a bit of a challenge with business programs. They are often seen as being the really sensible choice for students that parents and teachers encourage them to do. It's not necessarily something that they come in with a passion for. It might just be something that they think is a sensible choice or something they've done reasonably well in previously. Well, here at Hartpury, we really want to make sure that business fits the pattern of that, of our other courses. And through repeated interactions with real life businesses, the economic community in Gloucestershire, and a variety of different organisations, we really hope to ignite that spark in people and make sure that they have the same passion for their business programmes as they do for some of the other subjects that we study here at Hartpury. Excuse me. So a real key feature of these programmes is continuous application to industry. So if we teach them anything, we're not teaching them sort of bland academic theories. Everything we do, every assessment that they do, is applied to real business, and wherever possible, we allow them the opportunity to link to an industry that they're interested in. So if they are interested in hospitality, or they're interested in sport, or they're interested in public sector or healthcare, we can allow them the opportunity to link into that particular industry with their assessment so that they can really begin to develop their own portfolio and their own areas of interest.
Okay, so to put this into some sort of perspective, this is our, what we would call our BSc program map or program outcomes. So you can see semester 1 and semester 2, and you can see the various different modules there that make up each year, right the way through to the final year, and things like personal effectiveness and professional personal development is prevalent at level 1 and level 4 and level 5, and finally level 6. We've also got marketing modules there, operations management modules, and also entrepreneurial modules as well. I'd like to just focus for a short time on the notion of an optional placement year. A lot of students these days just want to get through and finish their program and get out into the real world, if they see it like that. However, we would encourage them to try and look at their optional placement year as an opportunity to put their learning from the first and second year into practice in a real world environment. We expect them to be paid, and they can undertake that placement year in this country because their international visa allows them to do that, or they can go back to their home country and we will support them. We have a dedicated department called the Innovation and Careers and Enterprise Department, who will help them throughout the process of trying to find a placement in their third year of study here. And then when they come back into their final year, they've got real world examples that they can look at, and it helps with things like their applied management projects. Some people would know that as a dissertation, where they've been working in industry for a year and they've come across the same problem over and over again. They could probably explore that in more detail in that dissertation type module. So you can see, much like a lot of other business courses, there's lots of there's finance, there's human resource management, there's operations management, and there is marketing throughout the course.
Okay, thanks, John. So what you can see now is the structure of the MSc Business Management and Enterprise. And similarly to our undergraduate programme, this MSc reflects the sort of multidisciplinarity of business programmes. So students will get a module in the various different subject areas, capped off by an applied business project where they will be able to explore a particular area of interest themselves in some real depth. We're happy to talk about the detail of that if anybody's interested. So Hartpury students, even though the business programmes as such are new, Hartpury's always had a real strong thread of business management going through it, and students have always been massively encouraged to think about setting up their own business, to understand kind of the key principles of enterprise and entrepreneurship. And you can see a couple of examples here so that students really leave work ready. So often businesses will complain that students have a lot of academic knowledge, but they struggle to apply it, or they struggle to work with people, and they need a lot of support when they go into organisations. Students that graduate from Hartpury are typically very resilient. They're very well networked. They have good relationships within an industry sector, and that's the sort of thing that we will replicate on the business management programmes. So in terms of what does this look like for us, one of the things that we were very keen to do early on in developing these programmes was to attain CMI accreditation for our courses. There's only about 20% of business degrees that feature CMI accreditation, and I'll explain a bit more about what that is momentarily. We have really good links with industry. All of the programmes that we deliver feature several guest lecturers. I think we've had about 6 this year.
Absolutely.
Just in the first year alone. And we've also had various events where we've brought business in to talk to the students, and importantly, we've taken students out to meet and discuss and network with our business community. One of the other features of business here at Hartpury is we have a business advisory board, a business advisory group made up from a variety. There's about 18 members, and that's made up of senior leaders from within a variety of different industry sectors who have advised us on the curriculum development and advised us on how skills and skills requirements of employers are developing. And that's a really important support mechanism for us to make sure that we're delivering a really contemporary programme and that our students are work ready at the end of it. We have a dedicated careers team that, as John mentioned, that will support students for placements, but they'll also support them in terms of looking for opportunities within their final year so that they can leave and get some important experience once they graduate. And I think most importantly, we do really have a personal touch here. The smaller class sizes, the wonderful environment that we've got here, and the many supportive colleagues who help us to look after those students mean that what the student receives is a really tailored opportunity to study and work on things that are of interest to them and really be the best version of themselves. So to just give you a little bit more information about the CMI accreditation, CMI is the Chartered Management Institute, and it's a very prestigious UK-based management institute that is often the voice of business and leaders and managers in the UK. They work with various other bodies. They're the voice of managers into government very often, and a number of the modules that students will study on our programme will attract accreditation and points from the CMI. If the students complete the full programmes, the BSc management students will also be awarded a diploma in management and leadership, which is a level 5 diploma, and the master's students on the MSc in business management and enterprise will be awarded a level 7 diploma in strategic management and leadership practice. So on completion of the course, they not only gain their degree award, they also gain an important industry recognition. And whilst they're studying, they have access to all sorts of CMI additional resources, additional study resources, but also networking and events and things that they can attend. And all the evidence suggests that students really benefit from this, and it gives them quite an advantage when they enter the job market. Okay, so we're going to try and play this now.
Yeah.
There we go. It is right. It is playing. There is no sound attached to this, so
don't
you
adjust
just
your speakers.
don't adjust your speakers. It's just John and myself. But what it does show you is that even though we are a small institution, we have an expression in the UK that we, as a small institution, are punching above our weight, that we are very well recognised in terms of the feedback, the testimonials and the awards that we've won as an institution. And generally speaking, Hartpury doesn't do anything unless it can do it very well and to a very high professional standard. And you can clearly see that in terms of the feedback, but also the rankings that we've achieved in terms of things like graduate outcomes, but also the teaching education framework and various other awards that we've won. So I think we can probably stop now and ask you if you have any questions. So I think we'll stop sharing.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Really, really useful information, and I'm sure our attendees found it quite inspiring as well. Thank you. I've learned a lot myself, and looking forward to also having that presentation so we can share with attendees later on too. Okay, so let's have a look at the questions we received. I can see quite a few are coming through, so please just share your questions within Q&A section, and I'll take them from there for you. Okay, what are the minimum academic and English language requirements for admissions into the business programs? Well, it will depend on the country you're coming from, so you may need to refer to our team on the ground who can help you with the further information on that, just to make sure that you meet the right entry criteria, and we can take it from there. If you already have a potential student and you're just wondering whether they meet the criteria, whether they have the right background or not, please submit your application via GAS Gateway. Our admissions are already looking into any new applications we've received. They're processing the initial conditional offer letters as well. I can see there is a question, what are the minimum documents required? So normally you would need to submit a passport, good personal statement highlighting why you've chosen Hartpury University, why you've chosen that specific program. If your student does have any study gap, please have this justified within the student's CV. So it has to be up to date, but also within personal statement if it's a bit longer study gap. Normally we're looking at 5 years for undergrad, up to 10 years for postgrad, but again, we can look into that on a case-by-case basis. Academic documents, if students are still in education, obviously they can provide the final transcripts of final certificates a little bit later on, but whatever they have up to date, please do submit that via GAS Gateway. If a student already has reference letter, you can submit that as well. If not, that can be provided later, but please ensure that you include the details of the actual referee in case if the university would like to contact them, whether it's academic reference or if it's professional reference. How long does it take for admissions to process offers? So our in-uni admissions issues initial conditional offer letters for students on the university's behalf within 48 hours, so I'd say 2 working days at present. Obviously, once the volume increases, this may increase slightly, but for now they seem to be on time, so please submit your application as soon as possible. Is there any flexibility? Well, normally you would just need to go by the country-specific requirements. So again, if you haven't received those, please reach out to our in-uni team on the ground. They will be able to assist. Is the student allowed to complete the dissertation or final project without doing the optional placement year?
Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
Of course. Yeah, it's as we said, it's optional. We are keen for students to do their placement year, but if they don't want to do a placement year and they want to go straight from level 4 into the final year, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Amazing, thank you. And just to highlight, especially for international students, I think it's a great way to gain experience during your studies. It would be ideal if you do decide whether you would like to do placement from the start before you even apply, because that means you will receive your visa letter longer. So instead of 3 years bachelor's, you will receive 4 years, including optional work placement. And then you can start your placement during year 3. But in case if you decide not to do placement, you can always change your mind later on and your visa will be adjusted accordingly. But at least from the start, you will receive longer visa, so it will save you time and extra hassle later to avoid any stress related to visas. Okay, what types of companies or job roles do students typically secure for placement year or after graduation as well?
So for placements, we're a new program, so we really, there is no such thing as typical because we haven't had anyone go through it. We've got a number of students who have just completed their first year that are looking at maybe going on placement after next year. One chap wants to go and work as a trader. He's actually part-time trading whilst he's studying for his degrees, trading in money at the moment and foreign exchange. We've got some other students who are looking at operations management. There's a wide range of placement opportunities available. I mean, if students wanted to have a look at a website called ratemyplacements.co.uk, they can see a wide variety of opportunities for placements in the UK and abroad. So, for example, there was a placement there sometime this year for somebody to go and work in Disney in Florida and be in their marketing department, which would be quite interesting. We've also had other business, there are other business management placements for the likes of Mercedes-Benz, BMW, car manufacturers. So if a student wants to work in a particular area or a particular sector, generally speaking, we will be able to help them find what they're after.
Amazing, thank you. And you mentioned some exciting success stories there, which is great. Thank you. Okay, is there any extra cost for the CMI qualification, so the marketing qualification?
Not to the student, no. And so if they're with us for 3 years, they will have membership for, I think it's 3 years, and it's
3 plus 2.
Yeah, 3 plus 2. So they have the membership extends beyond their graduation, just to give them a chance to kind of get into an industry and then decide whether they want to kind of maintain that themselves. No additional
cost
to the student. No.
That's great to know. Excellent. So students will ultimately receive a degree from Hartpury plus an additional qualification.
Correct. Yes.
Amazing. Double master's accepted. So if your students already studied master's and applying for an additional master's degree, you will just need to obviously justify how this will complement your previous studies, but also perhaps your career aspirations as well. So maybe explain that within your personal statement. And of course, it needs to be a different, perhaps either subject area or so it's not exactly the same what you've studied previously, so it needs to show how you progress academically and professionally as well. What is your typical student to teacher ratio, and how many students are usually in a single class?
So it would normally be about 20, so 20 to one student. John and I quite often teach together as well. So we kind of share the personal tutoring side of things, but our typical class sizes, we wouldn't get much more than about 25 to 30 would be the top. And then it would probably split and we'd have 2 smaller groups.
Yeah. What's important to know is the degree program as it stands, there are no optional modules. So whatever when they come onto the course, all of the modules are compulsory for them.
Okay, great to know. Thank you very much. And it sounds really reasonable class size, because like you mentioned, it's a lot of attention to students, I guess, from academics, which is important, especially if you are an international student. I mean, I was an international student myself some time ago, and it's great to have that personalized approach from academics. What I really like when we visited Hartpury University is actually academics and also other departments know students by name, which you don't really come across very often in big cities like London. So it's really good to see, and good good to hear great student success stories as well, and great testimonials, and yeah, how they really enjoyed the experience at Hartpury. And by the way, because I know this is still our new partner university, so we are all learning together with our partners as well. You can actually see more success stories of students, whether international or local, on Hartpury website as well. And to highlight, I mean, it was mentioned within the webinar invite, but in case if you haven't noticed, it's been only approved recently. Hartpury offers now automatic scholarships for business degrees. So you have £2,000 business scholarship for undergraduate and £3,500 for postgraduate applicants in business. So it's a great saving. So please do obviously account for that and apply for your students as soon as possible. Okay, do students need to have work experience if they're applying for master's degree in business?
No, it depends what they've done before. But and if they have got work experience, if they have been working, if they've had a break and they've worked and they've kind of they've got a sector that they're working in, that they're interested in, then that is quite helpful. It's quite useful for them, but it's not essential. If they've got a any sort of master's degree, they can come onto the program as long as they meet the entry requirements for the program. Yeah.
Right, thank you. What's the tuition fee deposit? Okay, so deposit normally is 50% of your tuition fees for the cast letter, so it needs to be paid before your cast letter can be issued. Then the remaining fees you can split into a few installments once you have secured your visa. If you obviously you can always pay all up front if you prefer prior to enrollment, or there is also an option to have an installment plan in case if needed. Are there any upcoming scholarships? So yes, so like I mentioned, it's £2,000 for undergraduate and £3,500 for postgraduate. We also have International Vice Chancellor Scholarship, which is £3,000, I believe, and the deadline is end of May. So you need to submit your students' applications at the soonest via GAS Gateway if not done so yet, and that can be looked into. So you can ultimately apply for two different scholarships. Well, for the automatic one, you don't really need to apply, but if you do apply for International Vice Chancellor and the university decides to grant that scholarship, then obviously you can decide which one you go for. So you can go for the higher scholarship in that instance. All the programs available for recruitment for all markets? Yes, so we welcome international students from all different parts of the world. So please do submit your students' applications, regardless of where they're coming from. Not about the Masters of Research. Currently, there is no Masters by Research in business-related subject areas, I don't believe, right? So it's only undergraduate and postgraduate, so Masters.
That's correct. Yeah,
perfect, thank you. Punjab, Haryana students, yes. So currently, Hartpury University does accept students from across India or other countries as well, but yes, to answer your question, they do accept students from Punjab and Haryana states in India. Please ensure your students do meet the English requirement. It's really important to note, as we mentioned in our previous webinar, students do need to provide CELT, whether it's undergraduate or postgraduate. So it's UKVI, IELTS, or Pearson if they do require visa. So please start planning that in case if your students haven't taken the test. But you can submit that a little bit later after you submitted your initial application. So that is okay. Send us the entry requirements for okay, yes, that's fine. So our team on the ground will reach out and send the entry criteria in case if not done yet, so you can have a look into that. How many interviews? Okay, so in uni, team conducts interviews on Hartpury University behalf when it comes to credibility interview. So it's similar process as you might have already experienced for our other partner university, booking via the in uni interview Teams booking link. Once students clear that interview and all good documents provided, we then refer case for unconditional offer letter. For undergraduate applicants, there is no further interviews. For postgraduate applicants, normally there is a chat with academics. Is it right, John?
Yes, yeah, we can, if they'd like to know more about the course and we'd like to sort of understand a bit more about them, then we can do an interview. Yeah,
sure.
Perfect. All right. So please just don't worry. It's not one of those scary interviews. It's just for academics to understand whether you've chosen the right course, to see your passion for the program, for the university as well, and to go from there. University interview process I've just answered. Currently, there are no English waivers in place, so please ensure your students meet the English requirement and provide SALT. So that's really, really important. But it's similar as, academic IELTS regular is just obviously needs to be UKVI at present. But in case if there are any further changes to entry criteria, we will keep you posted on that. What kind of academic and career support services are available to students?
So in terms of academic support, we have what we call the Academic Success Centre, and staff there will support students to kind of get their head around different types of assessment. They'll help them to develop the right sort of study skills. They will, if they've got particular issues, excuse me, such as dyslexia or other learning or cognitive needs, they can offer some advice around that. There's also a lot of online resources to help explain different study skills and things to students and exercises they can do. In terms of careers support, we've mentioned the centre that helps with student employability. And then you've also got the module leaders. And as we've sort of said all the way through, really, it's a very personal service. We know our students. We're on first name terms with all of them. They know us. And when they need help, they tend to ask for it. Within our modules, the way we tend to deliver it, because we're doing so much applied work, is we have various sort of check-in points in the run-up to assignments. So it's not just sort of, well, bye, we'll see you with an assignment, we'll see you with an essay in 6 weeks' time. We'll actually have a few sort of staging posts to make sure they're on the right
And
line.
it's also important to understand that one of the modules, or one of the first modules they'll undertake in the first year of the undergrad program is a module specifically designed to help them settle into university and understand what's required of them in terms of reading and how to write academically and how to reference their reading and research in an appropriate way, so that they develop a particular and appropriate academic writing style, and that will progress throughout both level 5 and level 6, as well as in each module as well. So it is, we do believe that we support the students really well to write in an appropriate manner, in an academic manner, and a professional manner as well, because let's not forget that we are trying to prepare these individuals to go out into the world of business, where if you hand in a report with spelling and grammatical errors to your boss or to your direct supervisor, that doesn't look particularly good. So we are very keen that the students understand that professionalism is at the heart of everything that we do, and that means being pedantic as academics and making sure that they are presenting work that is of a high quality.
Sorry, I was on mute. Perfect. Thank you so much. That's really, really helpful to know. And it's great to see how much support there is available for students at Hartpury. Okay, the question I have here is, can students combine business with another area of interest like sports or agriculture? I mean, there are a few business degrees available, so it's not just plain business, right? So there are different specializations.
So the short answer to that question is no. However, we also have a number of degree programs that certain students might be interested in. So we have a sports management degree, separate sports management degree. We have an equine management degree and an agriculture management degree as well. So if they are interested in those areas, they would be advised to look at those before looking at business management purely on its own.
But as we've said all the way through as well, if they have a particular specialist interest, you know, if they're interested in music or fashion or, you know, something like that, the program that we've got is very customizable to that. So they can explore their interests in more detail. Yeah, so they can look at finance in music or finance in fashion, or, you know, the companies that they choose, the examples that they choose can kind of play to their interests.
Right, thank you. And also just to highlight, obviously for undergraduate, you've mentioned, so we have general business management, equine business management, sports business management, international horse racing business. And then for postgraduate, we have masters in sports management and masters in business management and enterprise. Right,
That's
so there are quite a few options available for students to choose from, which is great. Scholarships I've already mentioned. Do students need to pay extra for the placement year? I believe it's around £4,000 for the undergraduate applicants. Is it right? I think that's information.
I believe so. We unfortunately we don't get involved in the finance bit, but yeah, that sounds about right. It's significantly reduced from the normal fees for the year.
Yeah, perfect. Yes, so that's a really, really good point. Thank you, John. So again, to highlight, when students go into work placement as a part of their degree, they do not actually pay full tuition fee for that year, which is 18,000 plus pounds. They only pay a fraction of fees, which is around £4,000 for that year. They normally do a placement on a full-time basis, obviously depending which placement you secure, which company, because you're mainly a full-time employee in most of cases, the company would normally also cover you some sort of either expenses or even a full-time salary. But the main thing to take away from that is the experience you get, the soft skills you get, the obviously CV enhancement that you have, and then it will help you to jump onto career ladder quicker once you have graduated. And some students actually secure full-time jobs in the same companies where they do placements, which is great. Perfect. Okay, there are lots of questions about research. Just to highlight, we don't currently offer research programs in business. So we've mentioned both undergraduate and master's degree that we offer in business subject areas already. But if there are any new programs, obviously, or any new developments, we will keep you posted. Our classes held every day, and what does a typical academic week look like at Hartpury?
So at the moment, for the class that we've got, for the first intake that we've had, we teach them on 3 different days of the week. So one day they have 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon. Then they have another day where they do another 3 hours, and then they have another day where they do another 3 hours. So sport is very important at Hartpury, even if you're not on a sport degree. So Wednesday, the Wednesday is always kept free, so students can be actively involved in the kind of inter-university sport for various different activities. And what we try and do as well is often students will want to work part-time or do something like that. So we try and cluster their study time together. But at the moment, they're studying 12 hours a week, and that's spread across 3 days. And we'd expect that to be
continued
fairly similar across the different years.
That's the aspiration for all courses, is that they're in for 3 days. And those days, depending on, you know, how the timetable sets out, could be 4 hours over 3 days, or it could be a mixture.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And there is a question: is there any deposit needed to be paid before credibility interview? Really good question. The answer is no. You do not need to pay anything before you take your in-uni credibility interview. Just please make sure your students are prepared. If you need any support with maybe mock interview sessions or any sort of preparation, do reach out to our team on the ground as well. We completely appreciate that it's a new partner university, new brand for you as well, so you may need to have more support to start with, or if any additional training needed perhaps for your team about Hartpury, or if you would like our team to meet your students or their parents to talk to them, please keep our team posted and we'll try to arrange that for you. So the answer again here, you will only need to pay your deposit once you've secured your unconditional offer letter, and then you can go ahead with the deposit and applying for your course. And I consider questions in regards with tuition fees. So in case if you miss our previous webinar, so it's £18,150 per year for the foundation bachelor's degree, and for postgraduate business it's £20,625. And obviously in addition to that we have, like I mentioned, £2,000 scholarship for undergrad and £3,500 for postgrad, so it's a great saving. For those students who would like to go for all-inclusive package, there is a special offer which is £32,450 for the first year. So that covers 1 year tuition fees, full board. So your students will get obviously all meals within this package, on-site accommodation, which is amazing, and obviously no stress about getting to the university. They can simply just walk to their classes, bed linen, crockery, cutlery pack, gym membership as well, so again great saving, and airport transfers for start and end year, and holidays up to 6 times per year in case if they would like to go and see their family or maybe go travel around Europe or anything else. So that is also included, which is great. Okay, let's have a look. Some questions seem to be the ones we already answered. Research we're not offering at present. Initial deposits of 50% as mentioned. So as per the current UKVI guideline, unfortunately, you're not able to bring your dependents for undergraduate or for master's degree. So yes, please ensure that your students do understand that. Can students who want to study sports business management also qualify for CMI?
Not at the moment.
Not
no.
at the moment.
So it has to be pure business management.
So you asked if there is a charge. There is a charge for the CMI, but that is met by the university. So they haven't extended it to all our business students. It's just the ones doing.
And also the Chartered Management Institute do quite a thorough mapping exercise across the course, and they've only done that on the business management course, not any of the other courses.
Understood, thank you. And I consider questions around other English tests being accepted. So again, just to highlight, you need to provide UKVI, IELTS or Pearson, please. So it has to be SELT at present. If any changes to that requirement, we will keep you posted. Are there any opportunities for students to work with local businesses during the course?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So depends what you mean by work with. So we, this year with our first year students, they've worked with the county council, they've worked with a local charity. Yeah. We had a consultancy exercise where we had them in different groups, and each group worked with one of 5 different local businesses.
Small businesses, yeah.
In terms of just working and studying and being paid, there are lots of opportunities in Gloucestershire for part-time work or short internships over various different vacations where students can work. Gloucestershire is it's often it's got very high employability rates as a county, as an area. So there are many organisations that are always looking for suitably qualified people to help and to work. And because you're only taught on 3 days of the week, there are opportunities for students. And I'd say a fair proportion of our students work and study at the same time, don't they?
Yeah, I'd say quite a few. The ones who aren't in the sports academies tend to do some part-time work. What we would say, obviously with the international visa, I believe there's only a certain number of hours per week that you can work. And we would also strongly recommend that any student who is looking to work part-time tempers that with the understanding that they are studying full-time for their degree, and although there's only 12 hours worth of contact time, we do expect them over the course of a week to undertake at least 30 hours of work for their degree, which includes the 12 hours plus a further 18 hours of independent study. So it's not just a case of, well, I've got 12 hours a week, I can work almost full time. It shouldn't and doesn't work like that, especially for international students.
Absolutely, really, really good point. Thank you for highlighting. So yes, as a reminder, your priority obviously is studies, and that is the main reason you're coming to the UK. However, your visa does allow you to work, but part-time. So it's 20 hours per week during your studies, and you can work up to full-time when you're on holidays. And once you obviously do your work placement, we mentioned, which is ultimately sandwich here during your bachelor's degree, you're also allowed to do it on a full-time basis. And once you have graduated, the great thing about UK, you obviously have that automatic graduate route visa, which you can apply for as long as you have successfully graduated from a British university. So that gives you additional 2 years to gain some experience in the UK, whether you've completed your bachelor's or you've completed your master's degree. It's a great way to obviously gain your experience. Amazing. Thank you so much, John and Polly. Really, really useful webinar. We all learned a lot, and we're quite excited to send some students applications for business programs at Hartpury. Okay, there is a question, well, which is more like a comment rather than question. We'd love if you can share the slide with us after the webinar to go through again for better understanding. Thanks. Okay, great. Yes, so we will share the presentation once we receive from Hartpury, and also the recording will be shared with yourselves, so you can listen back to it. And like I said, if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to our in-uni team on the ground, who would be happy to support. Please stay also tuned for more webinars to come on Hartpury, and we will keep you posted on the next webinar. Thank you all. And if you are our partner, please don't forget to submit your students' applications via GAS Gateway at the soonest. If you haven't completed your B2B inquiry, please do so as well, and arrange your students' missing documents, interviews, etc. And if you are a student considering coming to study at Hartpury, we really hope you do come to Hartpury, and we look forward to welcoming you there very, very soon in September. Thank you all. Thank you, John and Polly. Have a great day. Speak soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.